What's up, you guys? I want to talk about an experience I had. I'm going to jump right in. I was in my backyard doing some active meditation, like Tai Chi kind of like type stuff. And all of a sudden, I saw this lightning bolt. And I waited for it to make any sound, you know what I'm saying, like thunder, but no sound. Didn't make any sound, but it looked so close. The lightning bolt looked like it was so freaking close, but it made no sound. I was like, whoa, that's strange. And then, next thing I know, like, all kind of birds, all kind of animals just start running, you know, in one direction. Like I see squirrels and birds flying, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, I'm gonna like do what these guys are doing because they know something's about to happen, so I'm gonna take some cover. So I stood up under, you know, like my porch by my back door, and next thing I know, I mean, the bottom falls out of the sky. I've never seen so much water fall at once. I mean, it was just so freaking much water coming down. I've never seen so much water. It was like a monsoon. And then it just stopped all of a sudden. And I was like, wow, I've never experienced something like this before in my life. I'm gonna go lay down and meditate about it. So I went and I laid down on the sofa and I started meditating. And like less than 2 minutes in, I mean, I didn't fall asleep. I didn't like go unconscious or anything. I'm laying there. I didn't even achieve the alpha brainwave state yet. I was still way up in the beta brainwave state, you know, high frequency. Not even in the alpha yet. And next thing I know, from my back door, this being of just pure white light, just shining, a humanoid form, but it was just pure light, just walked into my house from the back door and started approaching me. And at first I was just awestruck, you know, just like, whoa, what is this? So amazing. But then this other vision I have opened up and I saw into this dark realm, this dark empty realm that I'm really familiar with these days. And I saw a certain sorcerer who I know, it's a fellow that I know. And he had he was doing something with his hands, like he had like an invisible energy ball in his hands. And I saw he was facing directly towards me, and he was uttering these words. I saw his mouth moving. And when I saw him doing that, I just immediately went into the fight or flight response. And all of a sudden I started having these like thoughts like, oh man, is this light being like really a light being, or is it like a freaking image being projected from satellites, you know, like some government shit, like some technology, like screwing with me, you know what I mean? And I got really, really paranoid all of a sudden, and I just instantly switched to the beast state, and I started snarling. I mean, I started inhumanly snarling. I can't even make that noise, like, on command. And I just started growling and snorting like an animal. And then the light just stopped because it was approaching me, and this happened really swiftly. All this, what I'm describing, happened like in a matter of seconds. And the light being, you know, stopped approaching me. It was about maybe 15 feet from me, and then it just stopped. It just turned, and it went back out the door. And all of a sudden I heard this voice, and the voice was familiar to me, like a friend. And I began to see who the voice was, and I recognized who it was. And the voice said to me, really casually, said to me, hey, what's wrong, man? You don't recognize your brother? And then all of a sudden I was just stricken with emotion, and overwhelming emotion. And in my mind, all of a sudden it was like I recognized that light being was actually Jesus Christ. And he had come to visit me in that moment. And then I was just overcome with so much sorrow because I got paranoid and I lashed out. But then angels appeared I know this sounds wild. Then angels appeared, and they're like, "Hey, it's okay, man. You know, we understand. You know, going through the whole cycle of life, we understand where your cosmic origins from. Man, we know you, man. It's cool." And they pulled their fiery swords out. They had these flaming swords, and they started showing them off. They're like, "Yeah, man. When we come back, man, it's gonna be great. Okay, you don't gotta worry, man. Don't stress. Stay chill." And I was just so awestruck by all this, and you know, they lifted my spirits. The angels really lifted my spirits, and so I decided to, you know, resume my meditation. And when I entered the full meditative state, like I shifted my brainwave frequency down, I lowered my brainwave frequency, and then I shifted into this alternate reality. And that light being who was there before appeared to me in this alternate reality in my meditative state, and we flew through the cosmos. But it was like the early cosmos, like before there were even any suns. And there was this dark, empty expanse in the cosmos. I'm not talking about like some weird alternate dimension. There in the physical cosmos. We were flying through the physical cosmos, and we met this Leviathan. I saw this Leviathan, and the Leviathan was just in a state of rage, and it was just flying through space, and it was just rage. It was enraged, and it was just overcome by bitterness, and the Leviathan was really suffering, and it had been in a state of solitude for a very long time. And then the light being, who I recognized as Jesus Christ, flew over to the Leviathan and touched it on the forehead, really softly. I mean, you know, not I just went up, just booped him. You know what I'm saying? Boop, boop. And all of a sudden, this bright light just blasted forth from the brain of the Leviathan, this bright light. And then I felt myself. I was cast. It was like when the light blew up in the Leviathan's mind, and the Leviathan shone this brilliant, amazing energy. It was like I was suddenly ejected from the Leviathan, and I flew from the Leviathan, from its brain. It was like I flew out of its brain, me. And then I was flying through space from the Leviathan, almost like I was cast from the Leviathan, like I was thrown from it or something. I was propelled from it, and I'm flying through space, and somehow I like fly through space, and I'm flying through time itself, and I reach the Earth. And then I'm just like in the orbit of the Earth, kind of just chilling in the orbit, like just observing the Earth. And then I know this is going to sound crazy, but I just sat in orbit, drifting, and I observed the whole Earth's history. I saw every civilization that ever lived on the Earth, and I watched every civilization develop from nothing. And I was able to like connect with all the humans and all their minds and all their passions and their worries and their fears and their hopes and their dreams of everyone who ever lived on the face of the earth. And oh man, I almost feel like crying right now telling you guys this story. And from this, I learned to recognize what's called group dynamics. And like I can measure group dynamics in society these days. I can like see people and see iterations within people. You know what I mean? And I can tell, I can just look at people and see they're not being driven by their true self. They're not living, you know, they're not like responding. They're not willing from their true self. They've become these iterations, these shallow, narrow forms, these iterational forms. And it's really intense. I try to keep my videos under 10 minutes. It's almost 10 minutes, so I'm going ahead and close it out. But I just wanted to share this experience. It's really intense. But think about that concept, you guys. Group dynamics. You know what I'm saying? Like, observe the group initiation, like how the group initiates, and like who controls the alpha line, the alpha signal over the group and whatnot. You know what I mean? Anyway, gonna close this out.